I feel like trial by jury is just no longer effective, or it won't be effective soon, and we need to come up with an alternative, because trial by jury was invented in a time where information moved very slowly, if at all. But now, with how fast social media and information can travel, it almost makes it impossible to get a truly neutral venue.
Well, it's never going to be neutral ground, right? You're battling for a neutral ground based on defense and prosecution, right? So when they're picking a trial to include their extras, there's like the defense and the prosecution gets like 4 each, where they're like the other team can't say no. So let's make it like we'll make it like the teen stabbing, right? Four like that's gonna sound racist. I don't want it to be too racist. Let's say that it's let's say it's a sexual assault, right? So the defense, if it's a dude, right, is gonna want like men on most likely, and the prosecution might want more women who are like mother aged, because they would want them to see like the victim as their child, right? And each one of them can't say no. And then that's 8, right? So then there's another 4, because you get 12, juries 12. The other 4 are like, they have to vote on and pick yes or no and battle between. So that's a jury trial, right? Then you have a bench trial. Just a judge. And you're going to go, Rich, well, the judge knows what's going on. Yeah, but there's also Soros judges. So you've got to play the field, right? It's never going to be completely neutral. The judges are going to go on how they feel and they interpret the law, which could be left-leaning, right-leaning, or in the middle. And the jury's going to do the same thing, but at least you get a say. If you go for a bench trial, and that's kind of up in the air, it's just whoever's available. Like, literally, I have been in, like, with prosecutors that have been like, bro, we better wait a week, because if we put this up on trial right now, this judge is going to get it, because they're on the bench this week. And there's no way. They're so fucking liberal, there's no way. And you're like, okay, cool, fuck that.
So
I've only ever done a bench trial. I've never been called to the stand for a jury trial, which will eventually happen.
it'll probably be yours. But
Oh no, actually that's not true. I got pulled in front of a jury one time during COVID. Or no, I think that was a grand jury. No, that was grand jury. Never mind.
So
it's different.
But I still feel like, so like that makes me feel a little better about like the neutral territory thing. But like I still think that now, especially with like humongous cases like the track stabbing, like I don't know how you overcome like 12 members of the jury are still going to go home and read comments all day and night. And it's like, well, fuck, if these people find out who I am, are they going to burn my house down? Or are they going to target me? Like, I don't know how you handle that.
Well, I'll give you 2 things. One, what jury from even OJ, what jury has ever been physically attacked after the verdict? Nobody. You want to know why? Because the second that fucking happens, that person that attacked that jury is going to set a precedent of, well, they're going to be used to set a precedent of, oh, cool, you don't like the way our judicial system works, and you're going to attack somebody who got all the information, and you just listen to the fucking news? Get ready for jail for fucking ever. They're fucked. I can't, honestly, I can't remember any where, yes, where threats were hurled at people, of course. But I've never actually seen physical violence actually meet a juror. Ever. And then that would make the fucking news, wouldn't it?
All right, so this is where I get stupid. How do you feel about, not maybe now, but in the near future, if you could actually have a controlled AI that would literally, its whole job was just to hear the case, know what the laws are, and shit out the correct answer?
You need the human aspect, because here's the deal. Jury nullification, right? You can have, or even Kyle Rittenhouse, like that's kind of steep, right? It's how the defense and the prosecution pitches what they're doing and the different strategies that they use. It's chess. And yes, of course, you can use a computer to play chess and beat people. but there's still a lot more grandmasters out there that can beat a computer.
No, there's not.
No,
Does that make sense?
No, there's not.
No computer, no grandmaster can beat a computer.
None. Even Magnus Carlsen can't beat the iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot more than just, knight to e5 in law.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I get that. Man, but the AI would be extremely difficult. I see both points because you do need the human element, but then when you have just factual, when it's just factual, it's like, here is all the statistics, here's the analytics, here is statistically how guilty they are, and then it would weigh it to a certain percentage, which that's what you would have to, I guess, distinguish between. It's like, what is that number? If it's 95, 99.5, whatever, it's like guilty. But they'd be super accurate.
Let me phrase
accurate.
I don't know how it would adapt to our culture either, because slavery used to be legal. If AI was around, let's say slavery was around now, or slavery was around when AI, judicial ceremonies or whatever you want to call them were going on, AI would be like, okay, cool. Well, this is the law. You can have slaves and they can't run away. And this state says that. So if you're in this state, this happens.
So that
you need a human element in order to evolve.
That kind of leads into what I was just going to ask is like, obviously, like the human element and emotions can be a plus or a minus depending on your case.
I'll tell you a minus story when you're done.
Do you think that the human element, given the opportunity to just have a cold machine shit out the right answer based on nothing but facts, do you think that would be a net positive or a net negative in the long run, as opposed to like combining that human element? Because so like to give like an example of each of like, we've all heard the stories of like son was abused and dad went and like fucking murdered the killer and got off scot-free. Like who was the guy that shot the dude at the phone booth at the airport? Gary. So like he got away.
Why, Gary?
If AI was deciding that case, there's no way Gary would have got away because it didn't combine the human element. But the human element was like, actually, I kind of like that shit. You're free to go. So do you think in the long run it'd be like a net positive or a net negative?
I think if AI were to be used, it would have to be agreed on by both parties, as opposed to the defense choosing what it wants. So right now, the defense chooses if it wants a jury trial or a bench trial. So because of the human element that you might want, the third option would be AI. We're going to, kind of screen this out. Mm-hmm. And if it was going to be AI, I feel like because there could be certain advantages for either side, or a tactic that they would like to use specifically for AI, it would have to be then agreed upon by both parties.
Okay.
And even then, how do you do it? Is AI listening to you while you pitch it? Are you just going to type it all up and then let it scan in and then he chicka-chicka-ching, chicka-chicka-ching, chicka-ching, like an old teletype, just spit out the answer? Be like, all right, we have looked at all the data. We have compared it to the laws and the things that you brought up, and here you go. Ready for this? So when I was on the Tim Pool podcast, the very intelligent lawyer, Andrew, I forget his last name, it was like Baraba or something like that. He brought up a case where an attorney filed motions in some sort of court and handed it into the judge, and the judge looked at it, and the judge was looking at it, and he was like, and it had a bunch of case law in it. Like, per this case of such and such date, they did this, and that backs up my point of view. Per this case on such and such a date with these such and such people, it, does this, and that supports my point of view. The judge looked at it and was just like, I can't find any of these things. The attorney used AI to write up his charges, and the judge is like, cool, you're coming in on this day to show me the case law for these things that you've written down in this legal document that you gave to me. Bring it. And guess what? He's not going to be able to bring it because it's all bullshit. So he's going to get disbarred, most likely, at least, or suspended from the bar for a certain number of years because AI made up, not referenced, made up case law to support his thing. So AI is not perfect. And if AI is not perfect, why use it when we've already got the human imperfection that we're used to for the past 1,000 years?
You will get zero pushback. That is where people are fucking up. They're using it completely to do everything without checking it. I say AI is very good for like you.
I feel like AI would be good for the prosecution.
Sample it.
You'd be like, here's a
baseline
statement from the guy that said he touched a kid. Here's a statement from a girl who said she was touched by the guy. And they're going to go, AI is going to go, oh, he admitted to it. Sweet, 15 years. Bah.
Supplement it. It is no different than thumbnails versus like anything you can use AI for, but you still need that human refinement to separate it, or you have to fact check it. It does a really fucking good job baseline, like really, really good job. You just have to then fact check it, make sure everything's good. It just takes out that initial work for art, for law. I'm guessing it was probably like 70% there, or what was it at, Rich?
For what?
Like that, whatever it made up.
The law? I don't know. I haven't found it yet. It's kind of a story that I want to look at and be like, dude, can't have AI do your homework all the time and not check it.
It's wild to do that, especially if it's your career.
Bro.
Like we use it for thumbnails. We use it for certain things, but only as a initial part, and then it's human touch after everything else.
Yeah.
Adding stuff, doing the editing, all that stuff's human. It's like, okay, cool. There's your baseline. Now let's build on it. Same for a script. Same for anything.